Hey, happy Sunday, everyone. I have something that is super cool and that I'm really excited to share with you. It's actually not, though, 1837, although she does still exist here in her natural habitat. It's also, surprisingly, not this random motor sitting on this dolly. What it is this new to me Galant VR4 that I picked up yesterday. So this car is really unique in a lot of reasons, and I'm going to talk through some of those. But for starters, it's a 91. It's a non-sunroof car, which is a little bit more rare also, non-sunroof car. Um, this car's Summit White, so the fastest color, if you know, you know. And something really cool about this car is it's a one-owner car. So original owner bought this car here in Southern California, and essentially it's been here all its life. The other really cool thing about this car is it's almost bone stock. So it has an exhaust system on it and a few other little odds and ends, but it's pretty much in stock form. And for those of you who haven't got to see a Galant in stock form, there's some stuff on this one that even I haven't seen, although I've been hoarding these things for what feels like forever. So, for starters, this one still has four-wheel steer intact. So, you can kind of see the four-wheel steer rack down here, still attached to the rear control arms. Underneath the car looks pretty clean, as you would expect from a lifetime Southern California car, so no rust free, which is really cool. Also, even for my Galant guys that have seen a lot of Galants in their time, what you probably haven't seen is a completely uncut, unmolested USDM front bumper. And the reason is because as soon as people typically get these cars, they chop up the front bumper to put a giant front mount behind it and a bunch of other stuff. And this one is crazily, just absolutely pristine in original condition. Not a single slat has been chopped on it, which is really cool. I don't even think I've ever seen that, so that's pretty neat. Still has the factory fogs. Those are getting tougher to find in this day and age. Let's take a peek under the hood, though. Don't mind the rat shit. We'll take care of that. But as you can see, this thing under the hood is pretty much stock. So check that out. That is, for those of you who've never seen one, a factory boost control solenoid on the Galant VR4 in its factory location, which is nuts. Also, still hooked up to the airbox and what I would assume is functioning, which is something maybe I've also never seen. We got the blow-off valve still recirculated into this tube thing, which is the intake on the Galant VR4. Factory upper intercooler pipe, and we got the little baby factory intercooler down here. Cruise control is still here. Here's something cool. Down there, if you can see it, that's actually the charcoal canister for the emission system. So if I had to bet, you can see the hoses actually still hooked up on the throttle body and all that. So if I had to bet, I would guess this might even pass California emissions as it sits. It does run, it does drive. Check this out. Air intake box, flap thing. Again, for the Galant guys, you guys probably have never seen these, but maybe you have. Either way, pretty rare to see actually intact and working. The Galants actually had this like weird system where cold air would enter here behind the passenger headlight and kind of flow through this little hose thing and get piped into the air box here. But anyways, I'm going down rabbit holes, and the point is this thing is pretty stock and super cool. So all right, moving on. Now I want to show you guys the absolute coolest thing about this Galant VR4. So let's pop the door open here. The interior is pretty messed up. Got a nice pool of water there on the floorboard, so we'll take care of that. But check this out. That, if you can read it, says Galant VR4 number 1 of 2000. And the other nuts thing is this is the original factory key fob, if you can see that. So what we have here is Galant VR4 #1. Now that does not mean this was the first one produced. The badges on these cars weren't actually tied to the VIN like a lot of other limited edition or numbered cars. What that does mean though is that this car has the badge #1 of all 2000 cars imported in 91. And if you're a Galant guy, you know that everyone, maybe not everyone, but there's been a lot of questions asked about where #1, the #1s are. And I say #1s because, again, if you're a Galant guy, you know that they also imported 1,000 in 92. And I'm not sure if we've located #1, the 92 model #1. But I have in my driveway #1 of 2000, which is super cool. So going through the car today, I found some other really cool nostalgic stuff. If you love the 90s like me, then you're gonna love this. So we have, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. So I wanted to show you guys. So this is my replica key fob that I have for 1837. And this is the original key fob. I've actually never seen one of these in person, but you can tell, right, the difference between the replica key fob and the original. Definitely you can tell the difference on the engraving, and what you'll notice is the engraving on the original exactly matches the engraving on the badges. So that's an easy way to tell that this is an original. But you can also see just the small amount of detail between the replica and the original, right? Which is essentially a casting of the original, or an original. But this is definitely an original, which is, again, super, super cool to have for something like #1 of 2000. All right, but anyways, so check out some of the other stuff I found in the car. So some of the Galant guys may have seen these, but these are original like brochures from the dealership, and in it you see all kinds of cool little advertisement things, right? Here's a little diagram of how the four-wheel steer works, which if you've ever heard me talk about four-wheel steer, you know it's dog shit, but a cool little feature, maybe a gimmick even, some would call it. But anyways, so lots of this stuff, some of it's in kind of rough shape. Here's another one, but super cool. This stuff was in the car. Some other cool stuff. A little motor trim bit where Mitsubishi takes top 3, right? Galant VR4 right there. Check this out. So, original owner's manual, but this is the original window sticker. So a while back, we were reproducing, I think somebody on the forum actually was reproducing them, but you can see this car scooped by the original owner here in Cali, right? Look at this price, $21,000. That's absolutely nuts for a car like this. You can also see this one had some California emissions control system stuff installed. So back in the 90s, not every car made was California compliant. So this specific vehicle, being a California car, had the California emissions compliant stuff, so it could pass smog back in the day. Something other, tape. I don't know what it is, but that was in the car. Super cool. Check this out. I thought this was cool. So this is a receipt for the transfer case recall, which was actually completed by Riverside Mitsubishi. So a lot of us, probably all the DSM guys really, have scooped up all the transfer case yokes as part of that recall, because for one reason or another we had to replace them. But it was cool that this car actually had it done by a dealership. After buying, I don't know, I probably bought 1 million transfer case yokes over the years, and this one had it done at the dealer. But anyways, also a turbo mag, tons of DSM stuff in here. I didn't bookmark it, but There's like a 1 or a 2G in here, like feature. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me. Oh, there's a 1G right there, ready, making tons of power. Check this out. The Black Widow Spider, 300 horsepower. If somebody went on literally anywhere now and said my DSM makes 300 horsepower, you'd get laughed at. Now, like, that's literally nothing. Yet back in the day, magazine cars are making 300 horses. This is July of 98, so, but super cool. All right, just a bunch of 90s nostalgic stuff. Super cool car. Can't wait to wrench on it. I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet, but we're gonna do something cool. Definitely get it back to its former glory. Driving, so on and so forth. All right, last thing. Check this out. Check out that stack of stickers. This thing got driven. It's got over 200,000 miles on it. Definitely seen some stuff. Went on her car, but it's super cool either way. All right, guys, that's all I got. Stay tuned. I'll post some more cool stuff wrenching on this thing.